Alaska is extreme in every way that I know how to describe it. From the deep, dark, sub-zero temperatures to the remoteness to the level of snow that we get every winter. It makes for some fantastic opportunities to ride snowmobiles, or snow machines as we call them in Alaska. But there are also some challenges to riding in such an extreme environment.
The Arctic Cat Riot X M8000, 800cc two-stroke, about 160 horsepower. This is considered, in theory, a crossover machine, which means it's supposed to be good for the trail and good for the deep powder and mountains as well. Some would argue that it does neither very well. I would argue that it's great for both.
Some of the unique features of this machine: the Fox Performance Series adjustable shocks, firm, medium, and soft.
What you do is turn it, makes for a better ride. Front end is wide, like a trail machine, about 40 inches between the ski stance here. The 146-inch track with a 2.5-inch lug is straight off premium mountain sled. The Alpha Ritz rear skid rail is something unique to Arctic Cat, and I'm really proud of them coming out with that. That's something completely different than everything else in the industry, and it makes for a very nimble, very light snow machine.
The new C-Tex 2 800cc, very powerful engine, roughly 160 horsepower, two-stroke, lots of power. Beautiful graphics and paint. This is a year 2021. Switch panel is good. Everything's right there where you need it. It's fine. What's really unique about this machine is the 146 track and the Alpha rear skid rail. That Alpha rear skid rail is something unique to Arctic Cat, and it makes for a great ride and a very nimble machine.
The challenges of riding in such a remote environment means that you better have your machine and your gear and your body ready. Riding at sub-zero could be as cold as negative 45 degrees out, and at that type of temperature, things hurt when you expose to fingers and skin and nose and gloves.
And if you want something that'll take you through Alaska and the Alaska backcountry and up and over and through the hills and back to the trail, I can think of no better sled than this. Of course, there are better sleds for hunting and trapping. There are better sleds for steep and deep, ultimate mountain riding, but the problem is snow machines designed for the steep and deep, as they call it, the steep mountains and very deep snow, are no good for just about anything else. Really uncomfortable on the trail to ride. Very narrow front end, very stiff suspension makes the sled real tippy and wants to roll over on you when you try to go around a corner on a trail. On the other end, trail sleds have really wide front ends and very narrow skid frames on the rear, and that makes them not so great for deep snow. And this one's right in the middle, and I've been extremely pleased with it. I find it to be a beautiful machine, extremely powerful, very reliable engine. The Arctic Cat Riot X is a unique machine that comes in two flavors. The Arctic Cat Riot is considered a crossover machine with smaller lug on the track, a wider front end. The Riot X, the X, indicates that this is a more aggressive machine with the Alpha rear skid rail, the deeper lug at 2.5-inch lug, roughly, we're taking 1/10 of an inch, and an adjustable, more narrow front end for more nimbleness off the trail.
Failure of your machine in any way could put you in danger, could put your life in danger, because you're not walking out of there, because it is so remote. It's also possible that you or your buddy are the only ones out there for many, many miles. Nobody's coming for you. So don't get hurt, don't make mistakes, don't take unnecessary risks, have a good time. And always be sure that your gear and your machine are in top-notch order. That is why, one of the reasons why I love to ride this 2021 model Arctic Cat Riot X. This is a high-performance machine. The 800cc two-stroke produces roughly 160 horsepower. The 2.5-inch lug by 146 track gives me plenty of traction and flotation over that deep snow. Electronic fuel injection and good reliability and proven reliability of this engine gives me the confidence to go out into the Alaskan backcountry to enjoy the breathtaking landscapes of Alaska where we ride. Some of the unique challenges to riding in Alaska would include the temperatures. The thaw and freeze cycles of early spring, late winter riding means there are water dangers, water crossings that could be defrosted and you don't want to go in. Very deep snow is another issue, and that is where something like the Arctic Cat with its deep lug track and the very good power of that engine really help. I am extremely pleased with this machine. It's very fun to ride. It has a wide enough front end, meaning the ski stance, that it's not very tippy. This thing is fairly stable, so it's decent enough for trail riding, but it's fantastic for off-road. I'm not worried about this thing throwing me off if I do something wrong. It's quite forgiving to ride when compared to a strict mountain sled that's built for the steep and deep. This thing is friendly enough for a rider that wants to relax a little bit and just enjoy riding around in some powder and some trail.
What is the difference between a crossover performance machine and what some consider a work machine? There are many differences, things like ski stance, track length, lug on the rear track, engine size, and the way the machine is built. So let's have a look at the differences between the Arctic Cat Riot X and my Ski Doo Skandic 600 E-Tech. So the differences between these two sleds are about as much as you can see. The Arctic Cat sits higher, wider front end, adjustable shocks, 800cc high performance engine. This machine doesn't really like to go slow. This machine likes to go fast, and it likes to rev. This machine is a Ski Doo Skandic.
This is all about utility. No adjustments, really, just how it is. Ski Doo calls that a pogo front end.
Wide track, 600 E-Tech, 600 two-stroke, 800 two-stroke. The 600 E-Tech in this machine has an extra cooling system that keeps it cooler. It is designed to go slow and pull heavy loads. But that doesn't mean it's not fun. It just means it's a different design. Not exactly built for high speed, high performance. Definitely not built for climbing mountains. And one of the main reasons it's not built for climbing mountains is the design of the rear track.
As you can see, this deep lug track, 2.5 inches. You can tell that thing will paddle some snow. On the other hand, you have the Ski Doo Skandic with a much shallower, about 1.5 inches, give or take. But as you can see, track on the Ski Doo is 20 inches wide versus 15. Look at the difference, folks. That makes a big difference when it comes to floating on deep snow. Different design, different concept, different ideas. This one's built for towing, as you can see the hitch, this one not so much. As you can see, the suspension on these two sleds is much different. That Arctic Cat is built for the trail with the adjustable front suspension and built for the deep snow and some fun. So the Arctic Cat Riot has some really unique features. This tunnel bag comes with a shovel to dig yourself out when you get stuck. The 146-inch track means it's extremely maneuverable relative to other sleds at 54 and 165. Not the best sled for the mountains, but this thing will go up a mountain with the best of them as well. That aggressive, really high quality track, the Alpha Rail Arctic Cat named this the Riot. This is a very unique sled because it is the Riot X, and that means it has the bigger lugs, the more aggressive rear track, the adjustable front end that you can narrow up makes the sled more tippy and more fun to ride. It's a beautiful machine. I'm very happy with it.
So I hope you've loved this video. Let me summarize the experience of riding the Arctic Cat Riot X in Alaska. This is a reliable machine with a reputation for a fantastic engine. The C-Tech 2 800cc two-stroke is a fabulous engine. It's been maintained well by me and the mechanics at Arctic Cat, so I have utmost confidence in reliability. Two-stroke electric start, backup pull start, all of those things mean I have the confidence to take this thing into the deep backcountry where we really want to go and really experience Alaska. And there's this unique experience of riding in Alaska when you've got those massive giant mountains in the distance, caribou running across a hillside, moose tracks off this way, bear tracks off this way possibly. And there's not another person in sight. And that is what makes riding the Arctic Cat Riot in Alaska so very unique. I encourage you to like this video and please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more content just like this, and there's so much more we have to share with you as we are living my Alaska.